Okay, in the second part of our look at deformers, we're going to go through the second lot down here. Now, I'm not going to go through every one. I'm just going to sort of take one and just sort of give you an idea of it. So let's just take a cylinder and just show you how to control these, because I mean all of them really work in the same fashion, and once you sort of understood one, you really understand them all. So we'll just take a bend. Now our property page opens up and we have the bending that you would expect. So we have the bend direction, basically it's 360 degrees, either backwards or forwards, and so we can just define from where we're going to bend that. And we can of course also define the axis along which it will be bending. Of course in a cylinder it really only makes that much sense bending around this direction. We can have the angle, so is it going to make a whole 180 or 360 degree angle, or is it just going to maybe make a 90, which is sort of usually what you would be expecting. And of course the radius that we're going to be bending by. So is it going to be really tight or not? Then we also have here a offset so that we can actually define where the bend is going to happen in the object, just giving you that much more control of the whole thing. And do remember that this again is all animatable here, so it has a lot of control over it. Okay, the next thing I want to really talk about is these deformers. Not all of them, but a lot of them have a place for a weight map. Basically, anywhere where there's an amplitude or something like that, you can actually connect a weight map, and that's a very important part of working with it. So let's just take, for example, a bulge operator. Now, a bulge operator you see has this amplitude, and basically you have this little plug icon right here. And whenever you have that plug icon, basically that means you can attach a weight map to control where this deformer is going to be taking place. So let's do that. Let's just have our object, and we'll just connect a weight map, and we'll call it Bob, just because. There we go. And so now we have that attached. So if we go in here and get our deformer, we have that bulge operator right here. We just hit that plug, connect, and we know it's down in here somewhere. There it goes. Okay, so it's now connected. Basically, we have an amplitude from 0 to 1, and our weight map is from 0 to 1. So all we have to do is just grab our weight map and maybe like paint up here where we don't want it to actually be taking place. And you can see immediately that then it's stopping. I can put a lot more levels of refinement in there if I want to, but for now it's just showing the principle. Okay, so let's just do that like this. Beginning. There we go. And now we've made a little UFO or something. But anyway, basically that allows you to quickly paint on where a deformer is going to be taking place and where not. Basically for the paint tool, if you've not used it yet, right mouse button is to remove the weight, left mouse button is to add, and if you want to change the size of the brush, just hold down the middle mouse button and drag a little bit, and that'll give you a little bit more control. If you need more brush properties, you just hit W so that you're in, and Control W will bring up the actual weight painter interface with opacity, so you can really change the amounts of levels you're bringing on or up, hardness, softness, brush profiles, all of that sort of thing. And while we're talking about brushes and all of that sort of thing, let's talk about one more type of deformer in that area that's quite useful, but it's on its own. You can either go in here and it's under Deformers Push, but you can also directly connect it with a weight map under the Map Paint Tools Paint Push tool. So basically you grab that, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to sort of model your object a little bit with your paintbrush. Now, it's not great for modeling, but it is fantastic for refining or just sort of smoothing over your geometric detail. Obviously right now I have the actual brush settings a little bit too high in opacity, but if I sort of turn that down a little bit, then you can sort of really start gently sort of painting on detail, smoothing it out. The more detail your geometry has, the better results you'll get with this. But and you can go into negative, and where it's yellow to yellow, that's basically going down into negative. Where it's blue, it's going into positive. So you can really see exactly what's happening color-coded wise. But this allows you really to sort of refine a model, or just create a little bit more smoothness, or maybe go in and add some detail on muscles and shape it just a little bit more elegantly.